On June 14, 2025, Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, one of the busiest travel hubs in the Pacific Northwest, was suddenly thrust into chaos, shattering the routine of a typical summer day. The tranquility of the morning was broken when a bomb threat was reported aboard an outbound flight, instantly triggering a massive and urgent emergency response that rippled through every corner of the airport. Within minutes, police, fire, and bomb squad teams converged on the tarmac, their vehicles forming a barricade as law enforcement officers swiftly blocked access points and secured the perimeter. The airport was partially locked down, and the ripple effect was immediate. Thousands of travelers found their plans upended, flights grounded, and uncertainty hanging in the air. The incident laid bare the delicate balance between the freedom of modern air travel and the unyielding demands of security in a world forever changed by the events of 9/11. Every protocol was tested, every decision scrutinized, as authorities worked to protect lives while minimizing disruption. For thousands of passengers, what began as a routine journey quickly turned into a day marked by confusion, anxiety, and fear. Terminals that usually buzzed with excitement and anticipation became crowded holding areas filled with stranded travelers clutching their luggage, searching for answers, and waiting in tense silence as updates trickled in. Behind the scenes, investigators and emergency response teams worked tirelessly, piecing together the origins of the threat, coordinating a step-by-step response, and communicating with multiple agencies to ensure the safety of everyone at Sea-Tac. Ultimately, the chaos that unfolded at Sea-Tac on that fateful day offers critical lessons in crisis management, the importance of interagency collaboration, and the ongoing need for vigilance to safeguard our skies. This is the story of how a single threat tested the resilience of an entire airport community and what it means for the future of air travel. The crisis began with a few reckless words aboard Alaska Airlines Flight 2123, a routine journey that would soon become anything but ordinary. Passengers were settling into their seats, stowing away bags, and preparing for what they expected to be a smooth flight. The hum of conversation and the clatter of carry-ons filled the cabin as the crew performed their final safety checks. The aircraft, an Embraer E-175, was preparing for departure to Walla Walla, a small city in Washington state. For most on board, it was just another day, another flight. But beneath the surface, tension was about to erupt. Suddenly, a passenger claimed to have a bomb. The words cut through the normalcy of the moment, instantly triggering emergency protocols. Fear and confusion rippled through the cabin as passengers exchanged worried glances, unsure if the threat was real or a terrible joke. The flight attendant, trained for moments like this, quickly and discreetly relayed the threat to the cockpit. The pilots, maintaining composure, immediately contacted air traffic control and airport authorities, setting a well-rehearsed emergency plan into motion. The aircraft was discreetly moved to an isolated area, far from terminals and other planes, to contain any potential danger. Emergency vehicles and security teams assembled nearby, ready to respond at a moment's notice. What may have been intended as a flippant remark was treated with utmost seriousness. Every threat is credible until proven otherwise. The crew and authorities knew that even a false alarm could have devastating consequences if not handled properly. The crew's calm professionalism kept panic at bay as the plane became the focus of a full-scale airport emergency. Flight attendants reassured passengers while the pilots coordinated with ground teams to ensure everyone's safety. This single act set off a chain reaction, grounding flights and mobilizing a multi-agency response. The airport's routine was shattered, replaced by a tense atmosphere as authorities worked swiftly to resolve the crisis and protect everyone involved. The response unfolded with precision. At 12 to 15 p.m., police were alerted and the plane was directed to a secure runway. Emergency units quickly established a perimeter, and by 1 to 16 p.m., 2 of the airport's 3 runways were closed, crippling operations. At 1 to 34 p.m., officers boarded the plane and arrested the suspect without incident, shifting focus to the potential bomb. By 2 p.m., all passengers were safely deplaned and transported for screening and interviews. Bomb technicians and K-9 units swept the aircraft and baggage. At 3:00 p.m., the plane was declared clear, no explosives found. Runways reopened, but the 3-hour ordeal left a ripple effect on schedules for days. The incident was over, but its impact would linger. The bomb threat's effects rippled far beyond the isolated plane, nearly paralyzing Sea-Tac. With only one runway open, air traffic controllers issued a ground stop, freezing departures and halting inbound flights. Over 500 flights were delayed or canceled, with Alaska Airlines hit hardest. Hundreds of flights disrupted, thousands stranded. Inside terminals, crowds swelled, lines grew, and frustration mounted as travelers scrambled for updates and rebooking. The disruption extended nationwide, delaying flights in cities from Los Angeles to Chicago. Airport and airline staff worked tirelessly to manage the chaos. The incident underscored how a single threat can disrupt the entire aviation network. With the suspect in custody, authorities turned to the critical task of clearing the threat. Passengers were evacuated onto buses on the tarmac and taken for secondary screening and interviews. K-9 units and law enforcement meticulously searched the aircraft and all baggage for explosives. Every person and item was treated as a potential risk until cleared. After an exhaustive search, no bomb was found. The threat was a hoax. The plane was towed away, and passengers were handed back to Alaska Airlines for rebooking. The incident's safe resolution was a testament to well-rehearsed security protocols, but the disruption and anxiety lingered long after the all-clear. The suspect was arrested without resistance as law enforcement moved swiftly to secure the scene and ensure the safety of everyone at the airport. Officers acted with professionalism and composure, minimizing disruption to travelers while maintaining strict security protocols. He was immediately taken for questioning by authorities. To protect the integrity of the investigation and the privacy of those involved, his identity was withheld from the public. The case was quickly assigned to a joint task force, bringing together the expertise of local police and the FBI, who began a thorough investigation into the incident. Making a false bomb threat is a federal felony, a crime that is treated with the utmost seriousness. The law imposes severe penalties, including lengthy prison sentences, substantial fines, and the possibility of being held financially responsible for the massive disruption and emergency response costs caused by such threats. Investigators worked methodically, interviewing the suspect, airline crew, and passengers who were affected. Their goal was to determine the suspect's motive, gather witness statements, and collect all available evidence to build a strong case for prosecution. The FBI and U.S. Attorney's Office are now carefully reviewing the evidence, including surveillance footage, communications, and witness accounts, to decide on the most appropriate charges. Their collaboration ensures that every aspect of the case is thoroughly examined. The swift arrest and the seriousness of the investigation send a clear message to the public. Threats to aviation security are never taken lightly and will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. The outcome of this case will serve as a powerful deterrent, reminding others that such actions have real and lasting consequences, not just for the perpetrator, but for the entire community. While the legal process is still ongoing, the consequences of making a false threat are already clear. Swift justice, public accountability, and a renewed commitment to keeping our skies safe. The Seattle bomb threat is part of a troubling trend of security incidents and unruly passenger behavior in aviation. FAA data shows thousands of such incidents each year, with numbers rising in 2024 and 2025. These range from verbal abuse to direct threats, each straining crews and triggering costly emergency responses. Recent bomb threats, like one at LAX just a week earlier, have caused similar chaos. No explosives found, but major delays and anxiety. Hoaxes force airports to deploy expensive protocols and disrupt operations nationwide. Courts are responding with harsh penalties, prison time, and hefty restitution for offenders. The message is clear. Such actions are federal crimes, not pranks. The aviation system's resilience is tested daily by these threats. The Sea-Tac incident is a case study in effective crisis management and the necessity of robust security. The "every threat is credible" doctrine, strict protocols, and seamless interagency coordination prevented panic and ensured safety. Years of joint training paid off as police, fire, the FBI, and Alaska Airlines worked in concert. Yet the event also revealed the system's vulnerability. A single threat can cripple a major hub. Continuous evaluation and public communication are vital to maintaining trust and resilience. Severe legal penalties serve as a deterrent, reminding travelers that security is everyone's responsibility. Words have power. Even a joke can have grave consequences in aviation. The bomb threat at Sea-Tac was a crisis averted, thanks to a swift, coordinated response. No explosives were found, but the disruption exposed the fragility of modern air travel. The incident reinforced public trust in security systems and highlighted the need for ongoing vigilance. Yet, it also raised concerns about rising threats and the pressure on aviation workers. The challenge ahead is to deter threats before they happen and adapt security for a changing world. The story of Sea-Tac's lockdown is a testament to resilience and a reminder that the freedom of flight depends on constant vigilance.